Once upon a time, in the peaceful village of Umyoba in Nigeria, there was a powerful king, Egui Obianuju. He had 4 beautiful daughters, Ada, Nneka, Chiamaka, and Ifunanya. Despite their beauty and royal status, they were known for their foolishness and lack of wisdom, which brought great embarrassment to the kingdom. One day, the king gathered his daughters and said, "My daughters, it is time for you to learn responsibility. I will give each of you a task to prove your wisdom. If you fail, you shall live in shame forever." The first task, Ada and the yam barn. Ada, the eldest, was given the task of watching over the royal yam barn to prevent thieves from stealing the king's precious harvest. That night, she sat outside, determined to protect the yams. But as the night grew cold, she thought to herself, "If I take some of the yams and hide them in my room, they will be safer." The next morning, when the guards came to check the barn, they found many yams missing. Ada, covered in yam peels, was caught red-handed. She had stolen from her own father's barn, believing it was a wise decision. The second task, Nneka and the river water. Nneka, the second sister, was tasked with fetching fresh water from the sacred Oji River using a clay pot. However, when she arrived, she saw her reflection in the water and admired herself for hours. Forgetting her task, she played by the riverbank until the sun began to set. In a panic, she filled her pot hastily, but on her way back, she tripped and spilled all the water. Ashamed, she filled the pot with muddy rainwater instead, thinking, "Father won't notice the difference." But when the king drank it, he spat it out in disgust and shook his head. The third task, Chiamaka and the royal goat. Chiamaka, the third daughter, was asked to take care of the royal goat, which was pregnant. She was supposed to ensure the goat was well fed and comfortable so it could safely give birth. But Chiamaka, being lazy, tied the goat to a tree and left it unattended for days, thinking, "The goat can take care of itself." When she returned, she found the poor animal had run away, never to be seen again. The fourth task, Ifunanya and the festival feast. Ifunanya, the youngest and most carefree, was given the duty of preparing the food for the annual village festival. She was given all the ingredients and told to cook a grand feast. Instead of cooking, she decided to throw a party with her friends and ate most of the food. When the day of the festival arrived, there was barely anything left to serve the guests. The villagers were furious, and the king was humiliated. The king's judgment. King Obianuju was deeply disappointed. He stood before his 4 daughters and said, "You have all proven yourselves unwise. Because of your foolishness, you shall not marry noblemen, nor shall you inherit my kingdom." The 4 sisters wept and begged for forgiveness, but the king had made his decision. From that day forward, they were